Welcome back to IEM Katowice, and welcome indeed to the Vodafone pre-match. We just saw Renegades take down FaZe in a very close affair. 16-14 went all the way to the end. Now we're going to move on. We're going to go over to Astralis taking on Cloud9. A pretty dangerous prospect. I think it's safe to say, obviously, Cloud9 earlier today looked much, much better than they had previously in the Challenger stage. This still is going to be a very tough affair.
Yeah, I mean, we saw two very different sides to Cloud9 in the Challenger stage we discussed earlier today. And this is more like the Cloud9 that we saw towards the latter end. Yes. We didn't see the nightmarish start from them. Started to see Kiyoshima, Flusher, really rejuvenated Flusher at that. I mean, he's really turning a corner in his career once again, it would seem.
Yeah, he's found a second life, a second wind in this Cloud9 team, and it's been very impressive. One of the historical greats that we've had in Counter-Strike, especially when it comes to the majors themselves. Going head-to-head here with the best team in the world, which is not going to be easy. We know Astralis, though. I mean, I guess if there's anything you're going to say that could be a win condition, we know Astralis in the past has really had some tough times early in events. They really like to play themselves into an event, and by the end of it, by the time the playoffs, by the time the semifinals and grand finals come, they just seem to hit this peak that's unstoppable. But in like kind of, I guess, the group stages and the early stages, they're susceptible at times to some upsets here and there.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. They definitely warm up as the tournament goes on, and no disrespect to complexity, but they couldn't have asked for an easier game to start things off, I think it's safe to say.
Nice little nuke pick.
Yeah, exactly. just to get themselves warmed in. So I think the potential banana peel early on was somewhat mitigated from that, and now we're going to see a real test. Because Cloud9, as we said, they have had some decent results in this tournament, and the fact of the matter is that when you put a best of one in, Cloud9 with the potential and the talent that these guys have, it's possible. Yeah,
the individual level of these Cloud9 players, it's also, you know, from what we've seen from their careers, much higher than the complexity peaks of those individual players, which is going to be pretty helpful. I mean, and we'll just see how they perform against Astralis. This kind of, it's a scary prospect, though, considering how well-drilled Astralis is and how experienced these five players now are together in all the events that they won last year and that kind of an historic run that they've been on. And then you look at Cloud9, and this is a team that, yeah, their individuals have all accomplished great things, but this roster's only been together since mid-December. So you're going to be missing some on the cohesion, on the chemistry side of things when you take on Astralis.
Absolutely. And I mean, Astralis now, these guys, especially the core, has been together for quite a while now.
Forever.
Yeah, pretty much. In terms of CS terms, forever.
Yeah, I mean, Device, Dupree, and Zimnix have been playing together since, you know, they were like 17.
Exactly. Magisk, of course, is one of the newer recruits to the team, but even he's been here for a while now. And what a revelation of a change that was, too. I believe it was Kirby out, Magisk in.
Yes. Right after the, early last year. So that's, they've been firing on cylinders. It's almost not even worth talking about Astralis because we know what they can bring to the table. We've seen them so many times. This Cloud9 team, Zelsis is going to get a big test here. That's going to be interesting to watch. I mean, a lot of eyes on him just because he's the standout name of kind of a question mark still. I think he's been progressing and stepping up very quickly. Kind of every time he's been tested in this Cloud9 roster, I think he's delivered in some kind of a way. Had a rocky start where he was able to have impact, but you know the overall package wasn't all there. I think as we've seen this tournament go on, he's becoming better and better. He had a great game earlier today in their victory over MIBR on Inferno.
Yep. Which they won 16-3, by the way, if you missed that game. We casted it, and it was...
That was a drumming.
Every bit as one-sided as it sounds. It was not close at all. Cloud9 were leagues above MIBR.
Yeah, which was surprising. Also, a little bit of a head-scratching performance from MIBR. I know a couple of those players have put out some tweets saying, you know, we started the day nervous. So take from that what you will, but definitely Cloud9 looked good. It's going to be... Yeah. I'm just excited to see this. I think one of the other stories about it that I have kind of my eye on this Cloud9 team is the automatic, kind of his transition into opping from being a rifler who was a very accomplished rifler, a very deadly rifler, kind of following in those footsteps of Device from earlier on in his career. He made that same switch as well. Originally a rifler that was, you know, being placed in the top 20 players of the year, top 10, top 5 players even that he's accomplished with the rifle, went over to the opper. And I think a lot of people right now, you could make would make the argument that Device is the best opper. And certainly the way he plays with the op is very unique and carries a lot of impact with it. And no favors being given to Cloud9 in this matchup. It is going to be Train. They are going to be starting on the T side as well, which, as we know, much like Nuke, can also be one of those T sides that you just get bogged down and have a really, really bad time with.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to make some declarations of intent pretty early on. There's a pretty tasty smoke to start things off, but Magisk is holding it down single-handedly on Ivy. The bomb's got out. Glaive lands a headshot as well. And the bomb's under control from Astralis. Device, speak of the man, has been gooshed from the Glock. But only Automatic and Flusher remain. Automatic is going to open up his account, though, with a headshot onto Dupree. Going to keep things a bit more interesting, but here comes Zipix from the side. Landed one, did a whole bunch of damage to Flusher. And surely this is going to be first blood of Train going the way of the Danes. It's only a matter of who picks up the kill. And the answer's been given. It's going to be Glaive.
I mean, that's a pretty comfortable pistol round from Astralis, all things considered, where Magus starts it off with a double kill out towards Ivy before the hit can really even kind of present itself. All of a sudden, you're on the back foot as Cloud9 in a very tough position, bomb being dropped as well. Great job from Astralis. Beautiful rotations outside. And without the plant, I don't think Cloud9 is going to want to invest here. I think they're just going to wait to get the AK-47s out in the next round. They don't even pick up any utility. I think they all 5 have Glocks.
Yeah, they do. Literally zero investment into the round here, Moses. You're expecting that it's going to be over pretty soon. Maybe some kind of a rush coming in play. Although they are pretty split up, so perhaps not.
If I'm Cloud9, I don't do this as one of those like really slow played timeouts, but you probably take an extra 10 seconds and you speak of the next round. This is the strategy we're going to run. This is how we're going to open the round. Is it going to be a default? Are we going to go into something specific? Make sure everyone knows what they're buying. And you just go into that first gun round as comfortable as possible that everyone's going to be on the same page.
You know, we spoke about Automatic and him picking up the AWP. This can be an AWP's paradise Train in the right hands, especially on the CT side. We're seeing a bit of a skirmish take place in box halls. Device down to 12. But here comes the flank from Dupree and his UMP. He's going to yield him 2 kills. That's money in the bank. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what Automatic can do with the AWP here on Train, because it can really be a make or break map for the AWPing.
Not just on Train, but also against Astralis. This will be a big test for him. Just because, I mean, not only you're going up against Device, who's more than capable of handling the opposition oppers, but Astralis with utility is going to be very good at neutralizing what position and how you want to utilize that weapon. So big challenges ahead, not just for Cloud9, but Automatic specifically going to be tested.
And he did have the opportunity to pick up the AWP. He had exactly enough money, $4,750, and he elected to go for the SG instead. As we're following the smoke, that's a pretty awesome smoke. Magisk has plucked out the first kill. So much damage across the Cloud9. Flush has been finished off. And Astralis maintain their player advantage. It's not looking good for Cloud9 early doors.
No, but that kill from Flusha opened up this play from Automatic, getting down Ivy. He forced Magisk into the open. Flush was able to get him from T-mid, but already Astralis starting to close the door. 2 players along that back wall. And they're going to be doubled up. Oh, and Automatic can't even find the shot he wants to take. Good one from Dupree. 2 on 4 now. Zelsa's towards box halls.
I could appreciate going out without utility there, trying to catch the CTs in transition off guard. I mean, you have to roll the dice again in a 2-on-4, especially against the best team in the world. Kirishima finds one, nearly a second, but Device is going to stand tall with the FAMAS, able to trade out the aforementioned FAMAS for the AK-47. And Astralis off to a bit of a rip of a start, 3-0 already, with Cloud9 on the back foot economically.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're off to the races. Astralis haven't been in danger of dropping any of these rounds quite yet. It's still obviously very early on. And in winning the first 3 rounds and kind of establishing the money behind them, this turns into a very grindy half for Cloud9. And for a team that's been together for such a short period, I mean, you can just ask the question right off the bat, are they going to have enough prepared on Train to be able to get those 4 rounds that they might need, the 5 rounds, to give yourself a pretty strong breathing room into the second half? Zelsa's to challenge box halls. He's going to have a pretty tough time if that's going to be his role on the T side. Astralis is so good at giving so many different looks on the defense. Especially towards box halls. He's encountering the AUG there now, a couple times with the rifle, but eventually we've seen Astralis pull out aggression. We've seen the AWP from Device going up a ramp.
Glaive really playing with his food in A main, but also keeping the terrorists at bay. They don't want to protrude their head round the corner. Automatic breaks his neck on the way down of Pop Dog. And Dupree and Device continue to apply the pressure. It doesn't show like there's any signs of it being alleviated anytime soon. Flusher at least has control of the bomb, but everything else is stacked against him. And there we have it. A brisk 4-0 lead for Astralis. Cloud9 will have a buy. An automatic with $6,000 should have an AWP.
Yeah, you imagine he'd bring it out in this round, and he will indeed. First thing he buys up. Full armor as well, gonna be hurt on the nades, but that's not the big deal. His teammates have plenty of that to cover his deficiencies in that department. This is where if you're a Cloud9 fan, you gotta hope you see something promising in this round, because this is where you have pretty much everything you could want. 4 players, full utility, and AK-47s automatic with the AWP. What have we got? Looking for that upper ramp peak from Astralis. It's not gonna come out quite yet. They haven't been tested. Zipnik's feeling very comfortable playing here alone in this round. One of the best inner bomb site defenders we have in the game. Device yet to get the AWP in his hands as well, but I think that's just a matter of him maybe getting killed so he can upgrade and change his weapon. Great utility damage. Zelsis down below half. Keo 29 taken away from him.
Exactly. When you have everybody on sort of primary weapons, you don't want to toss away an AUG or an M4. Naturally, if he goes down, or if one of his teammates do, he can drop that across and pick up an AWP for himself. But in the meanwhile, Cloud9 systematically going to be tossing some smokes onto the B side while the bomb on Ivy.
This is going to be a fake, and I imagine it's only Zelsis who commits. We've seen this on other maps as well. Faking a hit, a lot of utility, and yeah, there goes Zelsis. Keo's going to fall back towards ladder, and Glaive knows what's up. Peeks towards Ivy for the information. It was only Rush who would kind of make a play through the smoke, and Astralis is starting to put the puzzle together. 3 players outside now while this hit is stalled out by the smoke.
You can see the triple threat coming in from Astralis, but automatic going to take one of those away. 30 seconds now for Cloud9 to make some moves onto the site, and Device plus Magus batten it down, repel the onslaught. And Cloud9 are just getting no success whatsoever on their T-half.
They did not expect, well, Automatic definitely did not expect Device to be doubled up in the backhaul. That's the second time we've seen Astralis make that kind of a rotation when they start to feel some pressure outside, when that defense gets a little bit weakened. Put 2 players back there and make sure you hold on towards the Ivy portion of the outer bomb train yard.
Device and Zipnik's yet to die, and we're in round 6.
Cloud9 yet to get a plant.
Yikes.
They have the full losing bonus, so they do invest in this round. Automatic spent so much on the AWP, he's forced back to the UMP. But Cloud9 haven't even smelled a bomb site yet. This time, much less spread. This is definitely going to be a hit at the inner bomb site for Cloud9. A very passive defense from Zipnix, and they're just going to walk on down. Glaive is spotted the feed, gets lured into an attack. He wants Zipnix to help him out. There's the rotation from Dupree as well, coming through connector. Glaive holding on as long as possible, and he's doing it beautifully, making it look easy as the Molotovs rain in, and Cloud9 have lost so much already, and still Rush can't even get safely to the bomb site to put it down.
There's a perfectly placed Molotov as well, really disjointed the attack of Cloud9, as Flusher had to stop and just smoke the site. He's now been found. There's a team killing amongst the mix. Uncharacteristic for Astralis. Glaive has been battered by his teammate. There's another Molotov, stall yet longer. Rush out into the open, 27 health. Will land the headshot. There's no possibility. Oh, what a shot up to Device. That is for Rush. Will Cloud9 pick up their first round off the back of some magnificence? He's still well and truly up against it. 27 health. But he's able to scamper away, and he has a Molotov.
Yes.
There's no smoke for Magisk. This now moves almost into the advantage of Rush. All he has to do is bide his time.
May just needs to tap this bomb quickly to force that Molotov out. He does have a kit. He now has a smoke as well. He picked it up on the body. That's going to hurt for Rush. He goes for the early peek now. He knows the smoke is down. He's going to be forced into an awkward engagement, but he still hasn't heard the bomb being tapped. Magisk is going to be on it now, and he's going to stick it. He's holding it. Rush can't find him in the smoke. He can't find him at all, and Magisk pulls it out of the hat. And Rush did such a phenomenal job to get to that position. Just cannot convert. Magisk just happens to walk over a smoke, and that's what he needed to win it.
That is the definition of a nice try from Rush. You really feel bad for him at the end there.
He only had 5 bullets in that engagement right at the end to get those 2 kills. That one little one tap was his last remaining shot.
That would have been so sick. He'll be devastated, but hell of an effort from Rush. There's the first bomb plant though. He moves on to 4 frags now. Dupree Going to be looking to take the first engagement. They may even try and push the envelope here with Zipnik's making a move up ramp.
Here's that new look. I mentioned Zelsis was going to see a bunch of them. They handle it well with the help of Kiyoshima, but Dupree up top is just too much.
Triple stack on box halls. Not expecting that from Cloud9's perspective. And now they're going to quickly wrap around. They've seen no one else up there. So they're assuming it's Ivy or main. And these remaining straggling terrorists are very much isolated. The bomb carrier of Flusher's way off in A main side while his two teammates and Ivy going to try and make a play. Crack open this side of the map.
Glaive's not ever going to repeat that. Here's the op as well. There's a crossfire with Magisk on top of the train. Glaive waiting to come through the smoke at the point of contact, and there it is. Now he's going to slide out and automatic falls. Astralis, they got battered in the last round, losing 4 players, this time doing much, much better. Flusha alone at E-Box, and he's dropped by the AWP. 7-0 for Astralis on this train defense. So smart as well for Astralis as well. I mean, the tough part for Cloud9 is that this is kind of their default. 2 towards Ivy, 2 towards those box halls to gain control, and 1 in T-mid. And when you're kind of spread out in that fashion, you can't really punish the fact that they spotted 3 inner. You don't have anyone ready to really pounce outside. Ivy is still a long way, requires a lot of well-placed utility. 1 player in T-mid can't be the aggressor. And even on the rotation back, Astralis knows that Ivy is the most susceptible, and they place 2 players there in a crossfire.
Oh, Glaive caught out in no man's land. Automatic will push him off his mortal coil. They can't retrieve the weapon just yet, although there are some smokes being deployed. Device finds Automatic. That weapon's still very alluring for the terrorists. They want to get their hands on it. It's just pistols by and large. Kiyoshima now going to start to make a move outside Pop Dog. Has a bit of help behind him too. Trying to stack together 3 players strong. Zelsis is just drawing the fray. Leaving Flusher and A-main again. Flashbang proceeds to push. Now they have the hand on one of the M4s. This could get interesting, but Device is locking it down. Device once again. With Magisk, the double op Sing, and Astralis move to a comfortable 8-0 lead.
At least Cloud9 have spotted the double op setup though. At least they now know it's on the field. They can call a strategy, anything to neutralize that. Could have been a disaster if they didn't know about it until this next buy round, wandering into the 2 scopes of the AWPs, but another good round for Device, just being solid with that ult. And obviously the best way to neutralize the double op is to force those ops into a retake, but that's been a struggle in and of itself for Cloud9, is to get the bomb planted. Here we go. This time aggressive from Astralis, playing a little bit closer to these choke points, maybe neutralizing a smoke wall that'll be set up, and that is gonna hurt. Almost doubles up on Zelsis, but Device has 2 already on the entries.
Oh, this man is on fire. Quite literally on top of the Molotov and still landing shots left and right. He's feeling it, he's confident, he's gonna push into A main. But Flush Up, the 1 player occupying it, has been neutralized, leaving Automatic in a 1-on-5, and Device is a step ahead of him. Deagle in hand, close range. Doesn't get the kill. That's an AWP that's now been dropped out. And it is the primary AWPer for Cloud9. Could do a bit more damage yet.
You don't see Device make that kind of a play too often. Obviously feeling so comfortable and confident in this game so far. Obviously had a brilliant round as well. Maybe it was a little bit of a heat check on his part. Smoke is going to give away Automatic's position. It's not even going to cover everything perfectly. He does get the 1 kill. That's a great reaction on a Dupree, but immediately traded by Glaive. 9-0. I almost feel like it's time for a timeout on the Cloud9 side of things. The tough part is, because of the way that they had to sign up their roster, signing Zelsis as a coach, they don't have Rambo behind them, who is going to be the coach moving forward, and they don't have Valens behind them, who is the previous coach who helped them win that major. They don't have any of those voices who can kind of give fresh ideas over towards Flusha. This has all got to be done pretty much on the fly with just these 5 players figuring it out as they go.
With no voice of reason, maybe Cloud9 are destined for madness here on train so far. Straight jacket certainly has been applied. And really, there doesn't seem to be any way out for Cloud9. I mean, everywhere they go, they're just being locked down. Whether it's up from Magisk or Device, it doesn't matter. Everybody's pulling their weight. Magisk looking for another one, but Glaive's going to take it away. With 2 of his own. Full house of frags. Magisk with 2, Glaive with 3, and Astralis 10-0 to the good. And I can't see Cloud9 picking up around anytime soon.
A rare Tech9 sighting. Flusha trying to relive the good old times. This is pretty dirty, the quickscope follow-up as soon as he's ready to take that next shot. Yeah, I'm not even sure, even with our extra perspective of how Astralis is rotating around the map and their responses to Cloud9's different moves, I'm not even sure what the winning solution is at the moment for Cloud9.
Is it possible for us to see the ADR? Because I feel like Cloud9's ADR is going to be pretty depressing when we get a chance, but it looks like it's going to be a fast play down B. And once again, who else but Device?
This would be a great find. Flusha can't land the kill. There's a good trade, Zelsis. As Dupree swings out for another fight. They've done decent damage onto Dupree and Glaive, but it's a 4-on-3 in the favor of Astralis. Oh, and there's the elbow showing just the side of the chest even. Rush goes down, not even aware that he's overexposed. Zelsis falls now, and Keo, that's a small consolation prize. The bomb is all the way back towards the garbage bins at T-spawn.
I was going to say a drop in the bucket, but it feels more like a drop in the ocean at this stage for Cloud9. Yes, you're getting a couple kills here and there, but the money situation is just peachy for the Danes. Kiyoshima could take another couple players with him. Then again, we're nearing the business end of this half, and Magisk, with his AWP, is just on such good form. Look at the difference in ADR. That's so demoralizing.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. 3 players for Astralis over 100.
Top ADR is Rush on 53. And it's not like Xyp9x has had a bad game. I mean, he just simply hasn't seen much confrontation. Everyone's been taken away from him.
That's the thing. He is the inner bomb site anchor, right? And he's never really had to rotate. And if he has, all the kills are pretty much gone. And, they haven't really made it too much into that inner bomb site. Outside Rush we go. Cloud9 trying to go to the basics, see if they can just get out and win some fights. They do get one, immediately followed, but the AWPs at this range are just so brutal. Magisk is doing a great job with that secondary AWP position. Glaive is going to take some damage through the smoke. Magisk has a new angle, and he catches that one. It's a narrow one onto Kiyoshima. Low HP. It's possible for automatic. But Xyp9x and Device there with the angle. The other AWP as well now in play. Device hasn't found any action this round, and that probably makes him a bit bored. He's gonna swing for that fight as well, and long range does good damage, but no frag, and it's 12-0.
Scumbag Device takes the ace away from Magisk, but they're all smiles.
Even Zonic back there.
Apparently Zonic, he made a tweet earlier that he has a really bad flu.
Yeah,
so
a little sick.
hopefully he feels better soon.
Well, his teammates are doing their best work to get him in bed quickly.
Exactly. It doesn't really have much to coach here. His team are doing just fine.
Yeah, I'd say so. Goes without saying that Cloud9 desperately need these last 3 rounds of this half if they want to give themselves some kind of an opportunity in the second. Even that might not be enough.
Grenade not quite deep enough to bother many of the Cloud9 players. Yeah, I mean, looking at positives, if I'm going to be really optimistic, at least Cloud9 have the easier half in theory to move across to, but they need some rounds to at least play off. Dupree in hot pursuit, not going to get baited in, but Zelsis meets him. One of the better opportunities that Cloud9 have had. Just goes a little bit better for them, but Magisk continues to impress with the AWP. Here's the spray. Xyp9x finally going to find himself some kills. He's had enough of playing B, but in doing so, he has given this away to Flusha. So there will be another bomb plant. 1-on-3 with Desert Eagle. And Flusha doesn't have too many options, so he's going to try and turn up the aggression, but Device, he is going to get the easy kill. Astralis with yet another round.
Even coming late to the party, once that bomb gets planted, Device gets so much information by jumping on that train. He knows that Flusha hasn't gone up the ladder towards box halls. He knows that Flusha hasn't been able to go to the right side of that inner bomb site. He can basically just make an educated guess. And even if he doesn't get the kill, he passes the information on to his teammates. 13-0. You think we're gonna get a? Actually, I won't even say it. I won't even jinx it. We'll just let fate play its hand.
Well, the thing that shall not be named, I don't believe we've had one yet. I think we've had a couple 16-1s.
I have to imagine it. There's been a. I won't say it. We'll just change the subject. We'll talk about it after the game. Magisk spots one in team mid. Kiyoshima's out towards Olaf. At first deep area right outside of this terrace choke point. Could be able to catch Device off guard. Device has been a little bit overconfident, perhaps for good reason. There's Glaive, though, circling around, clears the corner, gets the follow-up. Oh boy.
This is as free and as good as Astralis have looked to me. I know that Cloud9 aren't exactly putting up a huge amount of counteraction in any of their plays, but Astralis just looks so comfortable. Just moving around, taking the fights to Cloud9 wherever they please, landing all the duels, landing all the AWP shots.
This is a tough map to play Astralis on, just because of how well they obviously communicate and are coordinated, and they just have layer upon layer of contingency and protocols and how they rotate and everything like that. Cloud9 still being a new team, we talked about that being a disadvantage, some of those communications, obviously the playbook. Just in general as well, Flusha's style of calling opens up rounds for Cloud9 in a more passive fashion, which is giving Astralis plenty of room to be as aggressive as they would like. Now they've started picking up the aggression on the Cloud9 offensive half just because they're desperate for a round. You might as well triage something and see if it works, but boy, are they getting stopped everywhere they go, no matter what.
Yeah, that's it. It's not as if Cloud9 have been thick-headed and not tried to change things up. It's just wherever they've gone, they've been dealt with. There's going to be another bomb plant, of course, final round of the half. Astralis won't care about that. Zipnix also. The Molotov just spreads to automatic on the last tick and claims his life rush. Gonna try and hold on.
Tell you what, this Astralis with AUGs in their hands looks pretty nasty as well. Very fundamental team. And then you give them a gun where they can just hold an angle and sit back and wait for someone to swing into it. Well, what can you say about this half? Not really a whole lot. We'll see if Cloud9 can avoid getting blanked when we return from the break.
On my own, when you spill that rum and coke on my t-shirt, yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high-pitched feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby, you make me feel something. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh,
Welcome back. You haven't missed much yet. 15-0 half for Astralis on the CT side of Train. Magus leading the way, 20-4. A lot of it done with a second op. Device, the other op that was in use, 18-3. Cloud9 having trouble dealing with snipers, it would appear.
Yeah, blinking, you'd have missed that first half. It was over in a flash. This match could also follow suit, because if Astralis win, the pistol, it's over. We will have a 16-0 on our hands. Astralis, plenty of grenades at their disposal. Couple smokes, Molotov, even decoys to have some fake flashes in play.
Here we go, Vince. It all rides on this. Astralis looking for a complete victory. Utility in hand. Quiet descends upon the train yard. Celsius, sweating bullets, has no idea what's coming. A literal and metaphorical train about to hit him. Still no clue. Indication of the hit comes. Molotov flames at his feet as Astralis slowly snakes its way to the edge of the ivy. Zelsa's at the off angle. Gets his contact with Magus, cannot handle it. And all of a sudden, Astralis pounces onto this bomb site. But Cloud9 doing their best to restore their pride in this map.
Yeah, that's really also the line now is pride. Try and save the embarrassment of a 16-0, and it's not looking good. Flusher and Kirishima gonna try and save it. Glave's gonna land the headshot. There's only 9 seconds left. Flusher's gonna have to push and deny this bomb plant, and he's not gonna be able to do it.
Oh, what a crazy flashbang from Zibnix.
Does hit Flusher and stalls him a little bit, allows both the terrorists to pull back. Onto the trains, they're gonna have verticality going their way. Flusher gonna try and smoke himself onto the bomb. The bomb's not actually planted for them. They're gonna have to get a move on. Flusher had the right idea, but Zibnix is gonna land a headshot. And we've hit it. We've hit the Fable, we've hit the Unicorn. Astralis have 16-0'd Cloud9 on Train. Let that sink in.
Let it sink in or wipe it from your memory if you're one of the 5 Cloud9 players in the server, because they're going to have to rebound from that tomorrow. They're going to drop down to 1-1 on the day. It was certainly always a tall task to think that they'd be able to overcome Astralis, but this is not the kind of fight they had in mind. 2 kills on Flusha, 3 kills on Zelsis to end that game.
What do you say about that? I personally want to hear you cast an entire tournament like that. It was beautiful. I was enjoying it.
Yeah, I've been working on that.
I can tell.
I don't necessarily know what to talk about. I know over on the A stream there's a great game. They're in overtime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely tune into the A stream, guys. They've got another best of 1 after that match.
Yes, Nip Liquid.
Yep.
I believe is going to be that one. That'll be really, really cool. Either way, that's going to be it for the B stream. Obviously, extremely dominant for Cloud9. We can bring up, I believe, the Swiss standings, so we can see exactly where they're at. We'll have that up on the screen in a bit. This is just, I don't necessarily know what to make of it. I don't want to read too much into it for the Cloud9 side of things. Obviously, 16-0 is never fun to have, but you can brush that off pretty easily at this level. Na'Vi Vitality still going on, as we said on the A stream. Liquid NIP coming up next. We still have more Counter-Strike to be played, but you can see there the results. Astralis moved to 2-1, so does Renegades, and 2 of the teams that are currently playing those maps right now, or will play them immediately afterwards, will join them. Obviously, you can see the 1 and 2 as well, and the 0 and 2s. NRG, big, Ents, Complexity. There's a lot of ruined pick'ems at the moment. Mine's in tatters.
Mine's okay for the time being, but it can quickly turn. I've just heard that it's 18-19, so definitely get over to the A stream, guys.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? How are we going to break down a 16-0?
Absolutely. We're even going to do you a favor. We're just going to end things right now so you can head over to that stream. So check it out, boys. We'll see you all tomorrow at IEM Katowice.